get I would like to have a moment of silence for, the events of September 11th, and hope the board's okay with that.
Yep.
I know that's something that's out of our norm, but I'd appreciate that, so if we just give a moment. Thank you very much, and for indulging me on that. All right, we will jump right into the agenda, and we have
Minutes.
attendance. We already have got minutes. Anybody have any issues with the minutes from last month? They were very well done, by the way. I just want to commend the Secretary Manny. I read these minutes. They're much more better than the ones that I do for my meetings. I can tell you that much right now. But do anybody have any issues?
No, I didn't see any, and I was here.
My only question was, did we have a meeting last month?
July 10th meeting.
Okay.
Yes,
July 10th meeting.
We skipped the August one. Yeah. Looking for a motion to accept the minutes of July 10th.
Also move.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor? Thank you
Aye.
very much. Then we have, I believe, after that, the coordinators report. Jump right into it.
Not 7 pages this time.
Yeah, I know, huh?
All right.
was
I'm just going to
disappointed.
read what I have for you, and I'll just start in. Lots of changes. Since we last met, the studio has shifted a bit of its workflow. Our volunteer base has grown, and we've ushered in a new era of cooperation with the school. All of these have been positive change in our operation, and I'm happy to share them with you. Thursday, tomorrow, our bids close for the mobile kit. This equipment will be familiar to what we use in the studio and eventually here at Town Hall. The immediate impact will be on the way our school board tapings look. We're looking forward to the potential for deliberative session, town events, and even games gives us limitless potential with this kit. In the studio, our efficiency is going up. Many of our shows are now live to tape, meaning the beginning, middle, and end are taped as they happen, and the end result is done and ready to air within minutes. Dave Suter has been working hard to learn Premiere Pro and is back-end equivalent encoder. The combination has given us great flexibility in how we work, especially in studio recordings. We have our brand new cameras in place in the studio, and they are awesome. Speaking of the studio, I'm sure many of you are sick to death about having me talk about begging for painters, but we did do it, so big kudos to Pam, Charles, and Brad for coming down for a few weeks ago, giving a few hours of their Saturday morning. The studio and the offices, they looked like a dark cave, and now they look like a bright and clean cave, so that's good. Some new programming. We're airing a few new shows. One of them was a musician. The other is a GoPro-based show. It kind of shows off some hiking and biking-friendly places around town and the area. I've also been out to tape and edit some interesting events for the town and for town departments. I taped the Boston Post cane presentation, which was great. It was the 101st birthday of Miss Lily Johnson, and she was presented with the cane on her birthday. Kind of a cool thing to be a part of. There's also that was a very unique event, and I also interviewed the DPW director to give a brief overview of what goes into the road paving process from budget to build. It was really informative and something we can play on the channel for a long time to come. This is something I hope to do more of as we take care of some of the loose ends. I'll be able to dedicate more time to town departments. Yesterday was the debut of our GTV football games. We have a 2-camera operation with a two-person play-by-play setup, and it's all volunteers. Alan Potvin, Jeff Hubbard, and Jeff Ruthier have committed to doing all the games home and away, and we turn these around and air them on Tuesdays at 5 and 9 p.m., and then several replays, of course, through the week. It's really a calling card to show the community what we can do and how we're here to help and how the community can in turn help us. I've gotten a fantastic response to it already. And it looks good, it sounds good, and these guys are really excited about doing it, which is even better. Monday, we had a group of high schoolers come by after school with Kurt McDermott, who's a teacher at the school, video teacher at the school, record the first morning announcements. This is the school using the space a little bit more, and every single one of those kids had no idea it was there. So it's just a forgotten wing of the school. We set up our talent, decided on a virtual set, and recorded it. The kids caught on to this immediately. It was really great to see, and their first effort was great. Kids were excited, and they're sponges for this kind of knowledge. I was really happy to see it go through the way it did. For now, we're doing it twice a week with an eye towards expansion at some point. The kids are going to dictate that. There also may be a push from the school, in which case it's my goal to make sure that they are able to utilize it without my presence. For now, it's a total of an hour a week I can dedicate to our future endeavors. And by the way, the kids were actually on the switcher program the first day, which I didn't expect. I thought I was going to have to kind of, hold their hands through it, and they were right in there with it. So other than that, there's been a lot of tweaking on nearly every angle of what we do, and it's the little things that add a nice touch. Meetings are rebroadcast in short order, and that's it.
First, can you pass me that pad of paper, please? Kurt, this is all really great. My question to you is, how are you going to get this information out to the public? What's your plan?
Well, Monday, we got the approval for a Facebook and YouTube page for GTV, so that's definitely part of it. And then I'm also hoping to get a little bit of publicity on this, maybe from Goffstown News and some other news sources, just good community stuff like the football team going out there with the crew of volunteers and doing this.
May I suggest, we tried as a committee to do I think it was a monthly newsletter.
Mm-hmm.
We did that, but then when we knew that there was going to be a coordinator coming on board, we thought it might be nice if the coordinator did it. Goffstown News is very, very open, and basically what you would do is send this.
Mm-hmm.
It's not difficult. The library does it. I think Park and Recs does it. They're really hungry for this kind of stuff, and there are people that just, it's just a thought that you might consider contacting the paper and seeing if you could start up a column. Some of them do it weekly, but you could do it monthly. It's totally up to you.
Yeah.
Did you have a contact at the paper?
We all have contacts. Everybody just get a hold of
No,
the
I mean,
editor.
I thought you had somebody that was kind of soft towards us, accepting you giving it through GTV.
I think
GTV through you. Yeah.
I think right now I believe Henry Metz is the new editor.
I think so.
And so Henry, we could contact Henry, but you don't need anyone to do it. You can do it yourself. You don't need us to make the phone call for
A
you.
third person.
Yeah,
right.
you don't. He doesn't need us, and that's a good thing. So I would just suggest you may consider that, because this is such great stuff. But if I'm not here listening, people aren't there listening, if you're not part of a certain group of folks, you're not going to know. No, they're not going to know about it.
And people's attention isn't wrapped to every meeting that we have.
Exactly.
Well,
the football aspect is great, because to even get the away games, that's impressive, because that's very tough. That's some dedication by the volunteers to do that. So.
Our first one was Friday, and it was in Merrimack, and I went and helped them set up. And
Hello, David. How are you?
I mean, they're just so excited to do it, and I was so excited to have them do this. I got a phone call today from the main play-by-play guy thanking me for coordinating this in the background. It's like, don't thank me. I'm thanking you. You know?
I know it is.
I need you guys out there.
Volunteers are worth their weight in gold, to tell you, when it comes to sports, anyways. So they're awesome. Quick question now. We were actually just talking about the $1,000 policy. The mobile kit, you're getting the bids back. Now, was that something that I can't remember, and maybe I'm missing it? Was that brought in front of the board to get approval for the mobile kit? Because I'm missing that.
We talked about it.
Well,
To put out an RFP, you have to get the selectmen's approval, and they approved putting out an RFP for a mobile kit.
But yeah, I'm just saying the process, wasn't that something that should have been in front of the board for approval before it went to the selectmen? Just unless I'm way off, and
wasn't that part of the big? Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, there was a big bunch of money that we talked about.
Yeah,
and
but we hadn't decided exactly what we were going to buy for, because there was a list of what you wanted to do, and specifically, and maybe I did get that email about specifically the order of what you found to be important, but I don't remember getting that email.
I recall
Maybe I did.
hearing that we told him to do what's best.
Okay, all right,
That's
so that's
what
okay,
I
that's fine.
recall.
It wasn't like we gave him carte blanche,
But
it
to
was all on the list that we
Yeah,
had known he was doing.
No,
Use the money in the best way that
Yes.
would be best for the town and for the studio and all that
Right.
stuff.
Okay, all right, because I just didn't, the mobile kit's a great idea, don't get me wrong, I'm not questioning any of the purchases, when I didn't know about it until I read this here, and the bids are gonna be back today, was just a little surprised.
You might remember it as part of the discussion of how bad the school board meetings are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He wants the mobile kit to do the school board meetings, but instead of just getting cameras for the school board meetings,
Yeah, that
he's
makes
doing
sense.
a mobile kit that could be used for anything else.
Yeah, understandable.
That
Nope.
may have been where it,
You missed
Came
it.
up.
I absolutely 100% understand it, agree with it 100%, but it was just one of those things where if something like that, I wouldn't mind just a heads up, just in case something ever asked of a question. Because the last thing in the world I particularly need, and I do get emails every once in a while, is an email asking me about this and me sitting there having no answer, having to give a call to you to figure out.
blast.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just what I just the heads
Get
up
back to them.
would be cool if that's
Okay.
possible.
Actually,
That's
might
all.
be in the minutes.
That's all.
I kind of have to agree with,
The minutes of that being done.
I have to agree with the chairman because I missed it too.
Yeah, and it's like I said, I'm just reiterating. It's a great idea. Absolutely think it's necessary. It's just one of those things. If just a little heads up would be cool. That's all. Financial report. Unless somebody else have any more questions about the coordinators report. Anybody?
No.
You good?
Did you have a question?
You good? All right. Financial report.
the those financial reports that I was handing out every
Yeah.
month probably won't do that till the rest of the year, because this year we switched from a regular budget to that revolving fund, and everything was put in originally the way it was the old way, yet we didn't spend the
Yeah.
personnel accounts and so forth, and so I can't get it rearranged.
Is there any possible way we could find out the lump sum or how much is being
Yes.
spent in employ? My biggest thing is the, per month, how much the employees costs for benefits and everything like that. That's because if you could just sit there and go, okay, if it's, I'm just throwing out a number. If it's $4,000 a month, it's more than that. But if it's $4,000 a month, then, we can multiply it by 12, or you can kind of have a rough idea and stuff like that.
We
so.
did exactly that,
All right.
and then just kind of put the rest of the money as a lump,
Mhm.
and we've been spending that.
So the last
Yeah.
fiscal report you gave us is more or less
Well,
the last statement that we should sort of,
No, they'll start back up
Use as a-
probably
as
in
a-
January in the new year with, a budgeted budget and
Right.
it'll-
and I understand what you're saying, but that's too long. That's too long for me to.
well, I
for
can
me
tell
to
you
do.
exactly what I was going to
Okay.
get at, is
All
I
right.
can tell you what's in it.
All right. What's in
If
it
that's
then?
what you're going for. Aside from personnel costs,
Yes.
there's about $7,500 left
Oh,
for this year.
For this year for.
Out of about 24,000, I think, that was because we didn't use up all the personnel costs. There was
Okay.
more money than usual for normal expenses, equipment and so forth.
Okay. So, personnel funding is all set aside, so that's all set then?
Right.
You're saying the $7,500 for additional expenses that come about?
Right, for the rest
And-
of the year.
And then there's a dedicated fund for long-term purchases?
No, all that rolls over. If we don't spend that 7,500,
Yeah.
it rolls over and we keep it.
So the $40,000 for the modulators and all that kind of
A whole
stuff?
separate account.
That's
That's
big, that's what I'm
above and
talking.
beyond.
But how much is in that one as of right now?
Would we get 6,500 or something like that? 65,000?
Yeah, I don't think that's been touched.
It hasn't been
It
touched yet?
hasn't, no.
Okay. Have you guys received that modulator yet? Because I spoke
Not
to
the
him.
modulators, but
No.
the money.
Yeah, well, I had spoken to him about that, so I will I will light a fire under
Push all
somebody's
you want.
something.
Comcast did come out to the field, the
Yeah.
football field, and kind of had their run-through of how they're going to run the wire and out there. And they may be putting fiber, which
Yeah, they're gonna have to, it's cheaper anyways.
is great.
I
So
think they would. The only question is it gonna run to the studio, or is it gonna run back to Comcast? I assume to the studio.
it'll
so-
run to the studio. Gary Geroliman's been instrumental in that too.
Good.
And the school is going to terminate the ends because that was Comcast's big, well, we don't want to have to terminate, but the school's going to do it. So they want to be able to use that as well. So great. And it's going to be like 6 strands, so there'll be plenty.
That's a lot.
Yep.
Good, there'll be some extras there. Perfect. Cool, that's it then. Oh, Pam.
Perhaps what Neil could do, especially for the secretary here, is to, even though we can't have a report, maybe just generate a hard copy
What's
of
been
balances.
spent. and-
Yeah, what's been spent or something, that I could have, to,
The balances sheet out of the finance system it's a disaster, because there was this much set aside for travel, this much set aside for those, and that's not where the money's being charged.
Nope.
And, but I can say, this is what we bought this month, this is what we have left.
Yeah, just so we kind of have I don't need your financial reports are very, itemized and they're very well done.
We're on the
Everything like
calendar
that.
year, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're on the calendar.
Yeah, so and it's great, but it's just kind of like, it's one of those things where I wouldn't mind knowing what the balance is as they go along. So we know, okay, this is great, and we'll roll everything over, and we'll have this much on top of next year's amount, and that's great and wonderful. It's just so we know the balance.
Is that what the town also? Is that just
This is
our
just-
financial?
Just
ours,
you,
'cause we
because
changed.
we switched from the normal budget to a
Right,
revolving fund.
and yet.
And at the same
The
time,
program was.
we're putting in a whole new finance system this year. So it's a combination of this thing and this thing and it's,
Well, then just sit down and do it on your lunchtime.
I could, but I can't get it out of the finance system. I don't work for the finance office.
I agree with, kind of having that, where you said, like, we probably got 7,500 with the bids now for the mobile kit. Is that gonna come out of that 7,500, or is that budgeted somewhere else?
Is it at the lump sum, or is it at the 7,500? Because I can tell you right now, that mobile kit's gotta be more than 7,500. Yeah. So,
It would have to come at least partially out of the,
Yeah.
it's gonna cost more than 7,500.
yeah. What was the bid for what item?
It's
The bids
for
are due
several
tomorrow.
items.
Oh, yeah, no, but I'm specifically,
Oh,
what is the
okay.
item for the bid?
There's several items. There's cameras, TriCaster, cabling, Snake for Audio Snake, and actually one of the bigger costs is a bunch of these microphones. So
Oh, gonna be placed here, or it's just for another?
these are for
travel?
mobile,
kit.
mostly for the school board for those microphones. Because if you watch the school board meetings, they're in the ceiling, all of them. So.
Yeah, not too great. Perfect, then TriCast, that's a good choice. I like those ones.
So it's probably more than 7,500 though.
Yeah, I'm down on that. All right.
On the other side of that, we haven't received any bids yet.
You haven't received any, wait a minute. You're telling me nobody's,
They're due tomorrow, though,
how many vendors did you send them out? Or how many people?
I sent it out to 3.
3. Okay.
So I know that at least 3 of them have it, and I'm pretty confident that one of them will do it. Probably 2 of them, at least, will do that. But I mean, to
Does it matter if I say the companies I'm assuming that you sent them to? Does it hurt, or?
No favors to
Yeah,
them.
I mean, it's
No.
Access AV, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Rule, I'm
Yep.
assuming, and then camera company.
Yep.
All right, so not one of those 3.
I haven't heard back from any of them.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
I don't know what
If I
happens if
would-
we don't get any of them.
Is he allowed to make phone calls to remind these people that they might
Sure.
want to get this?
No, I mean,
Definitely would
you
do
can
that
email
tomorrow,
this
Steve.
to anyone you want. We're trying to make it open to
Please,
whoever.
give a phone call to your sales. I'm assuming you have contacted each company's salespeople and
Yep.
give a contact.
I wonder
contact
if
just to make
B&H
sure.
Photo would,
I don't know if they do any.
if they bid on anything.
I've tried them before. They're just companies that are long distance away really don't tend to have a tendency to send bids. Most companies that are local will drop them off themselves or stuff like that. So
If nobody bid, we could probably just parse it out and buy the things individually.
I'm pretty sure one company will definitely drop off. So.
Yep.
All right. How are we doing? Town information.
That was the town
That
information.
was okay. The financials and town information.
Except he just barely skimmed on the fact that the Selectmen Monday Night okayed a Facebook page and a YouTube page.
Nice, wonderful, good. Now the YouTube page, you're just more or less just going to dump videos all over it, and
It's not going to be for public, so I don't want that perception to be out there. It's more or less going to be for stuff that we're doing that it could have another home. So, like this meeting will go on the on-demand section on the town website, but like the football game, for that matter, could go on YouTube. It'll take forever to upload, but that's fine.
You might use up all your space if you were uploading all the.
No, what
It's
about-
unlimited now.
what
They don't
about?
really-
Oh, okay. I was going to say Vimeo is a nice little.
Yeah,
product.
Vimeo, it will cost money.
Yeah, it's $75 a month or something. Yeah, something
No,
like that.
I don't. It's nice. They're whatever software they use in the back end, the videos look better overall, but it costs money, so out of the question.
But in Facebook, he can then link good quality video as opposed to Facebook video.
Nice.
And have stats on it.
But if it's not for
We're
public.
gonna,
But
It's not for
what
public.
good is it?
Not for public studio shows to be able
For
to
the
put up
public to
theirs.
look at.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that part.
Right.
Public access shows could-
Right.
they
That's
can
what
do
I
their
meant.
own work. if
Right,
they want to.
right.
He has
doing the,
GTV
school.
video, the Boston
Yeah.
Cape,
yeah,
Boston Post
Yeah.
Kane
right.
video.
Yeah, there's a
That's
lot.
up there?
who maintains the account? Oh,
Now
we're
we can
gonna
start sharing, that's awesome.
make the
Exactly.
posting.
That's what I
Now,
So, Adam.
why is it that you can't put them on the video on demand, then put the link on Facebook?
The video on demand doesn't handle higher quality videos very well.
Really?
So,
You watched it?
Not really. Not a big video on demand. I watched some of the meetings live.
it's got to be at
What?
a
It's horrible.
severely crunched down MP4. And like yesterday, actually, I spent most of the day re-uploading and reworking the Selectmen's video because for some reason it was not accepting it.
So when
I'm fairly sure
when
the
is the
reason
contract
was
up for
size.
that?
Yeah.
When is the contract up for that?
Isn't that sort of,
End of the year, probably.
End of the year.
oh, is it at that, okay.
So have we been
Could be
investigating a new
quarterly.
video on demand system?
Oh, I've looked into a few of them. Yeah.
All right, and you're going to be bringing something to this board, I'm assuming, or just do it yourself or something like that, or?
I don't know yet. It's hard because the cost of it is hard to beat.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But the ease of use certainly could leave something to be
Well,
desired.
you have to also factor in the amount of time that it takes you to fix these things and re-upload and everything. That's costing more money than it's worth. I mean,
Well-
it might be free, but if you got to spend 4 or 5 hours a week making sure these things go on properly, then that's just
Well, it
costing
wasn't.
money.
See, I redo the video, hit send, and it takes 4 hours, and then I find out that I have to do it again. So it isn't it isn't labor intensive. It's just really annoying when you get that email after you think you're done.
I have a question. Why can't, and I've asked this before and you'll probably tell me it's money, why can't we be like other towns and have our own on-demand? Why are we contracting out?
Oh,
Like
you
we
mean
could-
like purchase a server?
Yeah,
Have it
server.
in-house?
Yeah, I'm serious.
I don't think too many would do it in-house.
Yeah, we don't.
There are major benefits to having somebody else hosting.
Oh, I
or
understand
hosting
that, but
streaming.
perhaps we could find
Just a
like
better,
a better one.
kind of better.
With
Bandwidth
higher
and
quality.
security, number
Yeah.
two reasons right there.
Yeah, the amount of, yeah. I personally, Manchester's never had it in-house. We had it in-house for maybe a year, like
Yeah.
Briggs systems that we had, a Briggs media system, and then we had it outsourced, and the outsourcing is just so much easier. It's just ridiculous.
is.
But if it's having to be repeated and repeated after 8 hours,
you just find a
16
better,
hours,
just
what-
find a better service.
You just got to find a better
Find a
service.
better-
Just find a better service.
Yeah.
So that's on your radar.
Yeah.
It is, and
Yeah.
those scenarios don't always happen. When they do, they drive me through the roof. Like yesterday, but there is a add-on server for the current system we have that is a checkbox when you put a show onto the schedule, for instance. You click the checkbox, and it sends it to the server, and it's automatically there. Problem with it is it's $8,000.
And that's
Just that.
in-house.
And that would be in-house, yeah.
And so there's extra costs beyond the 8,000.
But it's 8,000 one time.
Right.
And then from there on, it's just check, it sends it to the server, plays it, and everything like that.
And then we all have to eventually replace the server, but yes.
Plus you have to have the bandwidth in-house.
Right.
That's
It may end up being another internet service contract that we'd have to do just for that, depending on how much it's
Okay,
taking.
you're working on that.
Now, we have Tightrope system right now? Yeah. And Tightrope doesn't have their own video? Is that what you're talking
That's
about,
what
the
it is.
8,000?
Yep,
$8,000.
$8,000. It's a separate server. And
And it's in-house? It's not even in their location? It doesn't even get sent to them?
yeah, it's ours. It'd be in our, and it sends it, creates an RSS, and puts it into iTunes podcast. I mean, it's
Wow.
nice. It's flashy. It's a checkbox. That's great. But it's also an $8,000 check. So,
And the bandwidth.
and the bandwidth.
All
I keep thinking if
Discussions later, I guess, more
50
about it.
people want to watch the football game all at once, we have to have enough bandwidth to stream 50 streams of the football game. And
Yeah.
that's,
You won't.
Oh, you mean if I go on
You won't have
Facebook
50
and
people, but
watch
you
it,
won't be
it
able to
will
stream
download
50 people.
slowly because there are 3 or 4 or 50 other people looking at it?
That
See,
could happen.
If we did it in
In-house.
a different, yeah, in-house.
If we did it in-house, it would freeze. If you had 50 people in-house, watch that football game at the same time, it would freeze. It wouldn't even let you
It would just
stop.
yeah.
And you might even crash it, to be honest with you.
Yep.
You'd have to go back in and, yeah, but chance of having 50 people watch it at the same time is pretty slim, but
Right.
it's there.
But
it's
it's
always,
there, yeah.
never know, so.
if I recall, I think Dick said at one time there was 12 people watching a planning board meeting, a particular controversial meeting.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
really not.
What about like tomorrow night?
Like tomorrow night.
I
That'll
think
be
they're all
live.
going to be here.
Hmm?
I think they'll all be here.
Oh, they
All
probably
the 12
will.
people?
Well,
All right, moving on. We can have further discussions later on about
Sell
that.
popcorn?
School, is Gary, it's school information. I don't know if anybody from the school was here?
Sounds like it's in his report.
Yeah, I guess
It
we'll
really
we'll
does.
roll with that
Yeah,
then.
Gary was a big help with the big
Fiber
wiring
feed.
to the field.
He also,
And the other
as-
guy, Kurt,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Kurt too. He's also offered to give us an internet connection in the library temporarily until we can get the Comcast drop. This will coincide with the mobile kit. So mobile kit will be able to utilize that Ethernet connection. Right now we have a physical cable going from a VCR deck to another VCR deck in our studio. So I'm waiting for the thing to explode some night.
Hey guys, hey Mike. Yeah, that's yeah, okay.
So
Okay, then we have action items. We don't have any action items tonight. Any new business? Anybody?
Yeah, you're here just in time.
New business? Anybody? Nothing? We're good? And then I'm not suggesting it now, and I kind of spoke in the beginning before we started, but I think the way things are going and the content that we have, the amount of information that we get, we might go every other month for our meetings, but that's something we can talk about at the next board meeting. I'll bring it up and put it on the agenda. I didn't put it on the agenda this time. I prefer to be on the agenda so everybody knows about it. But I think it's maybe a discussion we should have as a board. I think with Adam being here, a lot of the questions and issues, if any individual committee member has an issue, they can always go to Adam and ask him a question. And if anybody from the public has any issues, either they email us, we can always send it to Adam and he can take care of it. We don't have to sit here like we did the lot before and try to solve the problem ourselves. We actually have somebody that we pay to solve the problem. So
We pay him?
yes,
pay him?
yes, usually peanuts.
You pay
But,
me?
Yeah, but
He cleans up good.
yeah, but that's what I'm thinking. We might go every other month just for schedule purposes, and I think if we went every other month and people knew that, I think we'd get probably full committee meetings because people would.
If we did do that, would the selectmen be comfortable with that?
Under our rules, it's technically I can cancel any meeting
Right.
as a chairman, but I would like the whole committee to be in agreement that and if there's an emergency meeting that has to happen, it's not like we can't send out an email and say, hey, we might not be able to meet here, but we can meet at the studio or something like that. It's not like it's
all you gotta do is announce it to the town hall, and
Yeah.
she puts it on the calendar. and-
got to give her like a week or
Yeah.
something.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, what's the-
24
what's
hours,
the
48
time?
hours.
Yeah.
It's like 24 or 48 hours.
actually, there was notice of our painting,
Yeah.
actually, just
That's
in
too
case.
funny, was it?
Yeah.
So
Really?
yeah.
We
Yeah.
should try to make the
Just in
schedule
case a
so like
quorum
we
showed
have
up.
December off.
Yeah, well, that's what we'll figure these things because there are certain months like
Yeah.
August is a tough month, and July, but we can figure out. But
Maybe we did.
December's a tough
We
month.
don't even have to meet in
So it was
December.
posted, so it was okay.
We can definitely, maybe just once in the summer. But these are things we can discuss at the next meeting. I just want to give everybody a heads up that I wanted to bring
I
it up.
see you're very gun-ho.
Yeah, yeah. Pam's like, I don't want to do this at all. Less minutes, but
She's always sitting on the town hall waiting for a meeting.
that's it. Does anybody else have any new business?
Did you have anything in particular?
questions or anything like that?
We talked about all the sports being recorded now.
Oh,
Did you hear about that?
Did you read this?
Yeah.
I
Well,
have
we
an
can-
extra one. Oh, there's a couple extras
This
there.
is Adam's report. He sent
Well, we
it out
can
in an email.
we can talk about it more anyways afterwards. But all right, everybody's all set then. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Also move?
Now second?
All right, all in favor?
Yeah.
Aye.
All right, thank you very much, everyone.